Hello everyone. So I have a very quick video for you today. I wanted to talk about the fiction books that I'm currently reading. And I also wanted to try a new reading challenge. As I've seen many YouTubers do, they put names of books in jars and pull out a book and read that book or unhaul it. So I'm going to try that. And what I did was put the titles of the books that have been on my shelves the longest since before 2021, and I put fiction in this jar and nonfiction in this jar. So that'll kind of force me to move on some of the books that I've been reluctant to finish, pick up, or make a decision on. And then I also I tried other reading challenges in the past, and they have all failed. I tried reading the lowest rated books on my shelf, and that resulted in me getting rid of some of the books. So that was good, but then most of them went back on the shelf. I also tried reading the books that I bought exactly a year ago, because I do keep very careful records of all my purchases and all the ins and outs. And that made some progress, but not enough to really make a difference. So I'm going to try this one. I think it's a little simpler and a little more fun, and jars are involved. And anyway, so I'm going to go through the books that I'm currently reading. I'm rereading this series, the Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is my third time reading this book. The first time I loved it, but I was also a kid. The second time was a couple years ago, and I just listened to the audiobook and I did not connect with it at all. So now I'm rereading the physical book, and I am enjoying it a lot more. So this is very funny and cute, so I'm glad I'm doing that. This is The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. I've been suffering through this book for a while now. I kind of got stuck in the middle. This is a good book. This is a very good book, so I don't want to put anyone off of this one. I'm struggling with it. I've tried the audiobook. That didn't work. I just zone out completely when I listen to it. So I have to read the physical copy, and it's a bit dry. I recently started the Outlander book, and this is a lot more intelligent than I expected. I kind of thought this was going to be more trashy, but I started the first chapter and I'm kind of hooked. I really like the way it's written, so I think I'm going to enjoy this one. I am rereading The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and that is because I just read James by Percival Everett, which is based on this book. It's from Jim's perspective, and I absolutely love that book, so I really wanted to read the original source material, which I have read many times for school when I was in high school, and I always loved it. I think I ended up reading this book at least 3 times because I kept changing schools, and every time I went to the new school, they were reading Huckleberry Finn. And so I got really familiar with this book, and I'm rereading it now, and yes, it's great. I love this book. It's an excellent book. I'm also rereading Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. And this is a struggle. This is a painful book. This novel is basically about a woman who is possibly autistic, but she's also has severe trauma and depression, and she has been rejected by all people, I guess all potential love sources in her life. And she's also extremely intelligent. So that makes her a very difficult person. And you can just feel the pain through every word that she says. And so the first time I read it, I was going through a lot of pain, and I think I was drinking while reading this book. And now that I'm reading this sober and in a really good place in my life, this is hard. This is a painful book to get through. It's definitely not a fun read. So, but I'm glad I hold on. It is an excellent book. This is a very, very profound, well-written book. So I really am enjoying this. And Kitty wants to say hi. Hello. Another book that I'm reading is The Girl with All the Gifts, and this was a recommendation from my husband, and this is basically Matilda, but they're zombies. So it's a really good book. I'm really enjoying this. Very interesting perspective of a kind of a dystopian sci-fi thriller. Another book I'm reading is Snow Crash, and this is another recommendation from my husband. This is because I just did not like Ready Player One, and he recommended this one. I don't think he read it, but I think he heard that this is the same story, and it is really good. This is substantially better than Ready Player One. I'm not that far into it, just a couple chapters. It's not an easy book. This is a bit of a challenge, but it is very funny and interesting. And it's basically the same idea where a guy in the future has to basically live his life through technology because the world is so overrun by destruction and pollution and various large companies who've taken over large sectors of the economy. So, yeah, this I'm enjoying this one. Another book, I haven't been picking this one up as much. How far am I in? Not too far in, but this is A Prayer for Owen Meany by one of my favorite authors, John Irving. And the reason I have paused on this book is because I was doing the audiobook and it was just too annoying. I couldn't take it. So the narrator does the voice of Owen Meany, who's supposed to be a very annoying character, but it's just so annoying I can't listen to it. I need to read the book and just envision the voice for myself to make it tolerable. So I just need to switch from the audiobook back to the book and just read the full book through, because it is a very interesting story. It is very unique. And then another book that this was a book challenge. I think I picked this up during one of my original book challenges, just to pick random books off my shelf and start on them. This is J.M. Coetzee. Oh, hello, Kitty. Kitty wants me to not talk about books, but talk about him. The Master of Petersburg. And this book I'm not enjoying. This author won the Nobel Prize for Literature, and I think some of his books are very well known. This one is not. This is like a retelling of Dostoevsky's reaction to his son's murder, which I'm not sure actually happened. But it's like a historical fiction book, and it's weird. It's not very well written, and it's not very interesting. So one day I'll get through it. This book I was so close to decluttering. I started the audiobook and I thought it was just so stupid. And I just couldn't connect to any of the characters or the story. But then I decided, because this is a very favorite book of a lot of people, to just drop the audiobook and read the physical copy. And so it's much better as a book that you read as opposed to a book that you listen to, because it's very interesting. So I'm rereading this. I'm rereading the parts that I listened to now with the physical copy, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. So I think I might get through this book. Okay, finally, I'm going to choose one fiction book from my TBR jar, or what do you call this? Read it or on haul jar. Let's see. Okay, the book that I'm going to read is The Calculus Story. Oh, this is what is this? Nonfiction. Okay, sorry, that's nonfiction. Okay, The Calculus Story. That's a good book. And I'm going to read, this is the fiction jar then, I guess. Okay. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Okay, so that book is right here. And I could just pull it out, but that's a doozy. That's a big book. But you know what? Oh, you don't like books, do you? My kitty knocked over all my books. Okay, so I guess I'm reading this one, which one of the first books I ever purchased. And where is The Calculus Story? Let me pause and go find it. Okay, I got The Calculus Story. It's a mathematical adventure. I think I bought this years ago thinking I was going to just remember all the math, and I read like maybe a quarter of it and then I gave up because it was hard. But yeah, this is a good opportunity to finally start reading this book, and maybe it'll get me excited about reading some of my other math books that I bought, because I buy a lot of math books. Okay, thank you for watching.